Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. So this is going to be a little bit different video, no computer here. What you see here is an old tape player and I think it's at least 50 years old. So hope this will be interesting for you, even though it's not computer related. It's retro, I can say. Before I continue, I just want to say thank you to my sponsor PCB Way. They do a great job at producing prototype PCBs. I have used them many times, so I really appreciate the cooperation. Besides making pre-populated boards, they can also take care of other of your hobbyists' needs. They do PCB prototyping, PCB assembly, FPC rigid flex, advanced PCB, CNC and 3D printing, and SMD stencils. And right now they are hosting their 6th project design contest. If you have made your own design that you want to share, then you can participate in this contest and there's great prizes for you to win. So head over to PCB Way right now. So I got this from my father recently and he used it back in the day, even before I was born, I think. I'll have to check out that, see if we can find any dates or anything on this. And after that I used it myself in my room back in the day when I was a little kid. I used it for playing music and you could hook up a microphone, and I used this for playing a guitar, for example. I can't play guitar actually, but I tried to learn it at least back in the day. Had fun with an electric guitar. And I like to keep old stuff from my family. I actually have a sewing machine from my grandmother and it's very old. I also have an old sitar music instrument from my other grandmother that I keep still. I don't know if it still works. It's very dirty, full of dust, but I'm gonna take a look at it. It might be a short video, it might be a long one, I don't know. We'll see about that. It's a Tandberg, and Tandberg is a Norwegian brand. They made gear like this back in the day, radios and players like this, and they were quite popular and well known in Norway, but they went bankrupt and disappeared, I think in the 80s maybe I'm wrong, I'm gonna check that up. So this tape player uses these large tapes that are wound up on these spools, and I have a couple of those here. I don't know what's on them, but probably home recorded stuff. Doesn't say what's on this. This is a little bit smaller variant. And you place 2 spools on the player and the tape winds around to that other spool, and that's how it works. And this is play and reverse and rewind. Reset the counter, still works. I think this is some speaker control, and this is speed control, because these can be played at different speeds. Let's see here, it says Tandberg Series 84 4-track. I googled a bit and it seems like you can find these different places. This one is for sale at finn.no and he asks 800 NOK for it, that's $80. Yeah, seems like you can even find parts for it, spare parts. And here's even the instruction manual in Norwegian. Cool. Yes, and here is the Wikipedia page for the Norwegian Wikipedia, and it says here the Tandberg was established in 1933 and it went away in 1978. And they made radios and TVs and stuff like that. And it was based in Oslo. And as it happens, there's even a Tandberg museum here in Bodø, where I live. And I actually never visited it. I don't think it's open on a regular basis. Yeah, and here they are with some of the old TV cabinets, large stuff. And they even had the Norwegian Prime Minister visit, as you can see here, that guy. Alright, so before I start taking this apart, I'm gonna test it, just plug it in, and before that I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. It's full of dust. Just gonna remove the tape. Besides being dusty, it actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah. That's a little bit strange, considering that this was used by me as a child and probably abused a lot. Yeah, quite dusty, but it should clean up nicely. This has just been sitting in my father's attic, and it hasn't been used for like 40 years, I think. Good thing he didn't throw it away. And I think the belt is alright, because if I turn one of these, the other one turns. Yeah, that looks better. Just gonna go over it with some IPA. So if this is working, I'm gonna restore it a little bit inside as well, clean it up, see if there's anything that should or could be replaced. So you can just take these screws out by hand, and then you get access to the tape heads. You can clean them up. Yeah, and that looks very filthy. Probably never been cleaned before. Just gonna do a quick cleanup of the heads at least, and a little bit around with some cotton swabs.
Breathe slowly. You're inside.
Oh yes, look at that.
Escape the real world.
Yeah, all blacked. But the mechanical part seems to work.
Escape the real world.
I think there is some corrosion as well on the metal below, but it's really dirty. Okay, I think that's enough cleaning for now before I test it. Place back the tape. So now it's right, and it has built-in power supply, of course. Let's find the lead. So there might be some caps or something that's gonna start smelling or potentially blowing. Hopefully there's no reefer caps in it. I plugged it in and nothing happened so far, but let's turn it on then. Yeah, there's light in the counter. Okay, well, let's try. Yeah, it turns a little bit, but then it stopped. Yeah, it spools. Rewinding. What about the other way? But it doesn't play. What if I help it a little bit? Yeah. But no sound. If I turn the volume, I just get some noise. Oh, shit. It actually works. It was this button. That's the bass button. It's missing the knob. And that's fast. Amazing. But it runs a little bit too slow, I think. If I help it around, it seems to be better. So that might be to a bad belt. How cool is that? I guess the quality of electronics back in the day was a little bit better than nowadays. Still working after 50 years. Just gonna rewind this and try another tape. I might find something that I recorded myself back in the day when I was like 7, 8, 10 years old. I remember we used this to record stuff like singing and having fun, playing guitar. Yeah. When I had this, obviously my father and mother, they had moved to other music players like real stereos, and yeah. So how do you hook this to the spool? I think you just do like this. There's a groove there, and yeah, you set it in free so that it turns freely, and you turn it a couple of times, and then you can play. Oh, that's recorded a faster speed. That's the speed. But then I get this whining sound. This is Norwegian music. I have no idea who's playing. Sounds like some Christian music. Okay, let's try the other tape. Oops. Let's try this one. It says here MS Finnmarken, which is the ship my father worked at when he was young. Maybe they recorded something. Amazing that the tape still has, after all those years. Oh, this is accordion music, and it is probably my father playing, because he has an accordion and he used to play before, and he still plays today a little bit. Yeah, that's exactly the tunes he used to play. So this is music from the 60s, beginning of 70s, I guess. Hope I don't get a copyright strike on the video for playing this. Better stop it. Oh, it says here 1965, so that's really old. 58 years ago. All right, that was cool. I mean, I didn't expect it to work at all, but it does. Let's take a look at the back here, and yeah, here you actually have some outputs. All right, so the label says Tandberg's Radio Fabric AS Oslo, that's Radio Factory. Tandberg tape recorder model 845, it's been striked over 840. And there's a radio input, external speaker, and set input level, and there's another input there, and 2 outputs. And under here it says 500 kilo ohms, and this one has 4 ohms. Alright, I think we need to take a look inside this. I think I never been inside this before. And look at this label. It even says the price, 995 NOK. And that was a lot back in the day. I'm pretty sure it's several thousand today. And there was some additional tax you had to pay, 44 NOK, some radio tax, I think. And it looks like he actually paid just 600 for it, because here it says 666 something. So how do we open this up? Seems like there's screws on the top and you need to remove those and lift the cover off. And to do that you obviously need to take off the knobs. Oh, this one is really stuck. Gonna need some tool. So I don't want to ruin this, but yeah. Okay, that came off. And there's some black screws here with some gaskets. I think maybe it's hanging a little bit, not to get vibrations or something. Really long screw that is. Yeah, and the rubber gasket around, it's very dried up. Might be possible to replace those. Okay, I think it's loose. Yeah, it can be lifted. So there's 4 more screws that probably holds the actual plate from the rest. So I think I'm gonna remove those as well. Yeah, and I forgot this one needs to come off. If it can. Yeah. So the plate is now loose on this side, but not on this side. Yeah, it actually seems like this one has to be removed before you can take the plate. It's under there. So everything seems to be well thought out in the design of this. I guess this screw is for that. Yeah, that was it. I think this one has to go too. Yeah, it was under that one. And of course here too we have a screw. Yeah, now it's free. All right, we're in. Okay, so this actually seems to be in good order. The belt actually seems quite okay. I can't see any cracks or anything, so maybe it just needs some cleaning. Maybe all the dirt makes it slip a little bit. And oh boy, look at all this old crap. Yeah, now we can take out the whole thing from the case. This case is real wood, so yeah, really nice. And I can see something that looks like a reefer cap. Luckily it didn't blow. Okay, we have the speaker there and the cable. How should I do this? It's quite heavy, you know. Yeah, they actually thought about that, getting the contact through there. But we need to release the speaker, and it's soldered in. Oh my god, look at that. Look at those power supplies. It's actually quite clean inside. And big ass cap there. 50 microfarad, and there's a radio tube. A few other caps here and there. The electronics is in this side. We're gonna take a look at that soon. Just gonna cut that speaker wire so that we can remove the case. Yeah, and here's inside the case. It has a shield here and yeah, the speaker, which still works. It says Tandberg radio. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna use a couple of hours to clean this up as much as possible. I actually ordered some parts already. I ordered the two belts, this one and the one for the counter, and I ordered a couple of capacitors, so those are gonna arrive here in some days, but in the meantime I'll clean it up a little bit. I cleaned up as much as I can between here, but it's impossible to get this off. I think maybe it's yeah, something is corrosion here, and yeah, to make it perfect it's necessary to remove the whole assembly and maybe clean this up properly and remove all the corrosion and maybe paint it. I'm not gonna do that now. If I get this to work a little bit better, then I might do some more effort to clean this up really good. One issue is also this rubber wheel here. It seems a little bit hard and crusty. I tried to clean it up a little bit with some alcohol, but yeah, maybe that's the issue with the band not turning properly, but maybe it's a little bit better now. We'll see. Of course, many of the parts for this is impossible to find now, but the place where I bought the other stuff, like the belt and things, they actually have a little storage of used parts, and they can also apply new rubber to these wheels. This wheel seems to be very good. This one not so good, but you can have them reapply the rubber and make them as good as new again. But that's quite expensive. I mean, it costs like 50-60 euros to get new rubber. I'm gonna take off this belt, see if I can clean up the belt and the spools. Okay, just need to remember how to put it back. Just use a pad with some alcohol. Yeah. Not sure if that's dirt or if it's actually rubber from the belt, but yeah, I think it's a good idea to clean it up at least. Oh yes, lots of dirt. Lot of rubber residue on this roller here. Need to remove all that. I think that's enough with the cleaning for now. I put the belt back and now gonna test if it rolls any better. Yeah, seems to be much better. It's the right reel is keeping up with the left one, so maybe that was it. There's one other belt driving this. It seems to work. It's under here, but it's very loose, so yeah, eventually I'm gonna get the both belts as new, so we can replace those. Can't hear anything because the speaker isn't connected, obviously. There's a couple of micro switches here. That's one and that's one, and I already cleaned another one on the other side, so I'm gonna clean up those as well with some yeah, contact cleaner. A little bit hard to reach. It's still hot. Here's the radio tube. That's what we call it here in Norway, at least. It's those vacuum tubes that were used back in the day in amplifiers instead of transistors. It's a little black, but obviously it's working. If not, we wouldn't hear any audio. Cleaning that contact. Just cleaning it a little bit with some alcohol. So it looks shiny, yeah, a little bit dirt. So now what I want to do is to take out this, let's call it motherboard, the PCB here. I can't see any screws. I'm not really sure how to do that because I want to clean it up and see if I can replace some of the capacitors with regular ones that I already got. I think I said before that this was a transformer, but obviously it is the motor. It's spinning. Not really sure what these are. Are these big ass capacitors, or is this a transformer? At least there's a transformer there. Yeah, of course, this is the high voltage transformer. You can see the power lead coming in here through the power switch and then goes directly to the transformer, which has some secondary outputs here. Let's see if I can replace this cap at least. This seems to be some kind of filter cap on the mains side. Can't read the value, it's on the other side, so I'm just gonna desolder it. Now at least I got it out there. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, it's 1 microfarad, 400 volt DC, 250 volts AC. Not sure if I have those kinds of values. No, I don't have that kind of capacitor, but let's see if it still is good. Oops, 118 nanofarad. That's definitely not a good value for that cap, so, but the ESR is 0 ohms. Yeah, but I'm thinking this is a cap that filters noise to entering out onto the mains in the house, so maybe it's not essential for operation. Maybe I just take it out and try and find a replacement. Oh wait, it actually says 0.1 microfarad. So maybe then it's good. Yeah, 119 nanofarads, that's 0.1 microfarad. So this cap is actually good still. Says made in Denmark. So to take out the PCB, I think you need to remove the whole assembly here. And there are actually some screws here and one on top there. So I'm gonna try that. Yeah, that was quite loose. Yeah, it's loose on this side, but here we still have this bracket and seems to be connected to this one. Yeah, there's a screw there. Oh, that won't budge. Let's try the bigger tool then. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit more loose, but still not enough. It's all loose, but it's hanging on something. Yeah, there's several issues here. There's a long metal rod that goes from that side. It peeks out here to a switch in the middle here, and also the wires for this micro switch, they are soldered directly to the board and has very short wire, so not easy. Then I have to remove this one as well, I think. So I just wanted to tilt it down so that I can reach and access the PCB from the top side. I'm going to see if I can remove it off cam and then I'll be back. Alright, I think we're close now. I have removed some other stuff and now just pushing that rod through that hole, and now I think the whole thing is loose. Still, that didn't give me the wiggle room I want because there are still tight wires that's holding it up, so I could of course desolder those, but I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, at least I have tilted a little bit so I can reach and can take out some of the caps and yeah, clean up and inspect. Just gonna turn it around. Yeah, and in fact below that electronics board there's even another radio tube down there. You can actually reach it from the top. I thought first it was some kind of light bulb, but it's a radio tube. Aha, look at that. There's one of those yeah, Rifa kinds of caps, those paper caps in plastic, and it says 0.047. Alright, so I thought I could replace this 0.047 microfarad cap with a new plastic. This is X2 I think, and unfortunately the ones I have are 0.0047, so that's a tenth of the value, so I can't use those. However, I found some other caps here that are 25 microfarad and 25 volts. I got some 22 microfarads here. These should be good replacements, I guess, so I'm gonna pull out those. That did not melt very well. Raising the temperature, a little bit of flux, and it's really thick pins on these, and yeah, thick solder and thick traces probably. Yeah, I think that went better. Let's check it. So this one should be 25 microfarads, but it measured as 36, so it is still usable, I guess, but yeah, gonna replace it with a modern one at 22, which is even more correct value. Obviously much smaller, and it's radial, so but it fits quite nicely. There's long legs on it, so just gonna solder that in and replace the other one. So it will go like this instead of lying down. Okay, that's in. Now the next one. The second one was even more way off in value. This one measured as 47 microfarad. So I actually wondered what the heck this is. Looks like a capacitor, but it's open in the top. But I actually just turned it around, and then yeah, there's another radio tube. Yes. Made in Germany. I guess this aluminium casing is just for sinking heat away from the tube. They can get really hot. I could see on the backside of the PCB around this one, it's really dark, so it has had some heat. Here we can see the other belt for the counter, and it's all loose and sloppy. So this is gonna be removed and replaced with a new one. Just cleaning up the rollers. Alright, it's the next day and I actually got the parts I ordered. So let's take a look. They actually didn't have that much. I mean, they have a lot of spare parts, used ones, but some of them were very expensive. So I got this filter cap and this very big cap and the two belts. So I'm gonna install them now, and then I think I'm gonna stop with that. I did some work. Some of the caps probably needs be replaced, but I'm gonna collect those later. And this player will need some more work to be perfect, but I'm gonna use more time on that, so I'm finishing up this video now. Funny thing, this very large electrolyte capacitor is made by Rifa, and yeah, seems to contain 3 different capacitors in one. I'm not really sure, but it says made in Sweden and 2366. So I actually measured this now, and for the blue I cannot find any value. Seems to be broken or something. The other ones were red and green was about 60 microfarad. Blue couldn't register, said damaged part. And I measured on the one that's in the player, and it actually turns out to be better. So I think actually this is a used part. They are selling used parts, so maybe I did notice this is a used part. So I'm not gonna replace this. Actually, there are more than one of these 0.1 microfarad caps. I should have bought more, but I ordered them before I even opened this up. So gonna replace this. Yeah, and it looks kind of crusty, and the plastic has cracked. Alright, there are several 0.1 microfarad caps on this board. I just desoldered this one, looks more like it. Hard to reach. So I'm not really sure which one to actually replace. It says 400 volts mini print, and that's not exactly like this one, which is a RC unit, so I'm not sure what I'm doing here actually. Alright, I decided not to solder in this cap because I'm not sure where it should go, and if it's even the right type. I mean, the other ones has 400 volts, this has only 250, so... Alright, I'm gonna replace the belts, and then we can see if it works any better. At least the main belt is the correct one. Then the new belt for the counter. Yes. Okay, now I'm gonna assemble the whole machine, and hopefully I can get it right back. Yeah, and it's time to test if it still works. I did a few other things off cam. I lubricated the motor and the spinners here, and yeah, I wiped off the case and used some furniture wax and polished it so it looks nice and shiny now. Before I test it, I just want to show you something else I got. Yeah, here's one of my storage shelves, and on top there I actually got another Tandberg. Yeah, this is a stereo receiver from Tandberg. It's a little bit newer than the other one, but this is perhaps from the late 70s. Yeah. So one day I'm gonna take a look at that as well. I don't know if it even works. Sorry about the lighting, it's a little bit difficult in here. I plugged it in, nothing burns yet. One of the gaskets around the screws were damaged, and I replaced it with some other type of gasket. Doesn't really fit very well, but yeah, that will do for now. So let's turn it on then. Obviously there's a lot of more work to be done with this to make it work perfectly. A lot of components needs to be replaced, but this is so far. I took it now. Let's listen and see if it actually runs at the correct speed now. Alright, let's test this now. I actually did one mistake before. I somehow managed to push this down so it was not poking up and was out to the side, but that's fixed now. So yeah, let's see now if it plays. Yeah, it works, but still runs a little bit slow. This is normal speed. I need to help it. So obviously there's something more wrong than just the belts. Alright, before I end it, I just want to mention that I talked with some experts on Facebook regarding the unstable playback, and they told me that it's definitely the wheel here that needs to be replaced, but because that's the one that makes forwarding the tape stable, and I actually found one wheel here, but this does not fit, but these can be reapplied with new rubber, so I found a guy that does that, and I'm gonna do that pretty soon, but won't make it in this video, however. But one thing that's fixed, and that's the volume. Before I couldn't turn it more than this, and then it start making a very loud, high-pitched noise. But now that works. Alright, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, even if it wasn't regular computer-related stuff. Still fun to, to work on these old systems. Everything is different and old school, so yeah. I'm gonna continue with this some other time, but for now I'm just gonna put it back on my shelf. So thanks again for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons. See you, bye bye.